My name is Mary Atia. I am the executive chef at the Musket Room in Nolita. I've been working in New York City kitchens for about 10 years now and have been a chef for the past 5 years. First time I had Japanese Wagyu was as an intern at an Issa restaurant. I had decided I was going to start my internship there and went in for a meal at the bar, and one of the menu items was a Japanese Wagyu, and the meat was so tender and just sort of melted in your mouth, and I hadn't had steak like that before, and I was just sort of so impressed and so excited that I had chosen there to do my internship, because I knew I was going to learn a lot and get to experience a lot of new ingredients that were out there. Today I am making a really simple Japanese Wagyu with some pickled cucumbers that are Japanese inspired and a little tare seasoning, which is a sort of a soy, mirin, sugar marinade. So getting this all prepared, obviously first you would make the tare seasoning. Just adding soy sauce, mirin, a little sake, some water, and then a little bit of brown sugar, ginger and scallion, you don't really need to cook it too long, just let it come to a boil and steep a little bit. So it's best to make that ahead of time, and you can make this and hold it for weeks, because it's soy and sugar and salt, so it's going to preserve it and be sort of a pretty shelf-stable product. So once that's cooking, then I'm going to put together my Japanese pickles. So I added rice wine vinegar, some water, sugar, salt, and this is Japanese mustard, which is really strong and potent. So I'm just going to kind of mix these up. So once all of those are completed and your Wagyu has been marinated a while, tempered, we are going to slice it first. So I'm just going to kind of slice on a bias against the grain. So I'm going to transfer it back to the tray. And this is a really simple cooking method if you have a low torch at home. So because of the sugars and the tare seasoning, it's going to get some nice color on it. I'm going to now flip it. All this fat you can see is just starting to melt away, because it's a really gorgeous piece of Wagyu. And all the flavors with the torching, all the flavors of the fat are starting to come out. I believe this Wagyu itself, the cows feed on like pineapple chips and apple peels and sake leaves, so there's a lot of like umami and floral notes to it. And with this, you want to keep it a little bit more rare, but if you want to melt the fat a little more, I can just sort of stagger it a little, and I'll just kind of gently hit it. All right, so now we'll compose the dish. So I'm going to take the beef, and maybe I'll pull it from some of these pieces of these center slices. And I have some of the cucumbers that I made yesterday. And you can really plate this however you want it. This is just a way to ensure you kind of get some pickle with each. These are just some Serrano chilies. You could really use any chili. I just slice them really thinly and put a little rice wine vinegar on them, just to kind of give them a little bit of acidity. Next is Shiso. This is really popular herb, one of my favorites. It's in the mint family, though it doesn't taste that much like mint. And then I just have some nice purple micro shiso that. And then a little toasted black and white sesame seed to garnish. And then I'm just going to take a little bit more of the tare marinade flavor, but I really don't want to do too much to the Wagyu, because it has such amazing flavor and taste itself that you don't really want to. You want to try to prepare items that will complement it and not overpower it. So that is the Japanese Wagyu with Japanese pickles and pickled chili. If you are investing in a piece of Japanese Wagyu because you want to experiment with it at home, I would definitely start with something simple where it's just, lightly seasoned with some, salt and pepper, and, either grill it off quickly or sear it in a cast iron, just to really understand the flavors and the nuance of it, and then you can develop, more intricate dishes from there. But I would definitely keep it simple to start so that you can understand how the beef works.